I actually started out in college recruiting. So I went to Upper Iowa University, and after I graduated, they were looking for like an admissions advisor slash recruiter, and I just applied for it. So the college that I graduated from ended up offering me a job like right after I graduated. So that was nice.
Hi, all. So today I have someone very special with us named Emerald. She's all about bringing humanity into HR, which is something that's very important because every day you hear candidates sharing their experiences regarding how they applied to jobs and they never heard back. Emerald is all about creating connections, one job offer at a time. Let's welcome Emerald on 10 Minutes of Hiring Wisdom, where she will tell us about what it's like being in the talent acquisition space, what led her to be in this specific space, and if she has any tips for job seekers out there. Hi, Emerald. How are you doing today?
I'm good. Thank you for having me. I'm
Of
super
course.
excited. I wasn't expecting you to message me and ask me to be on here. So this is great.
I am so glad that you took up the opportunity, Emerald. So let's get into it. Can you share a little more about your journey and what led you to specialize in talent acquisition space in the field of HR?
Yeah, actually, um, I actually started out in college recruiting. So I went to Upper Iowa University, and after I graduated, they were looking for like an admissions advisor slash recruiter, and I just applied for it. So the college that I graduated from ended up offering me a job like right after I graduated. So that was nice. And that's kind of where my recruiting started, was like I specifically worked with higher education, and then within that, it was recruiting in students into our like self-paced online classes. And then once I started doing that, because I had like a quota to fill, like I think it was like every like 8 or 12 weeks, I would have to fill a class. So that's kind of
Oh,
where like the recruiting part kicked in. And then I my major was business, and then I had like an HR certificate in there. So I was like, oh, you know what? I kind of really like this recruiting aspect. So let's use the HR piece. And then I had, after I think I was there for maybe about 2 years, I moved into talent acquisition and within a different company, and it was actually MediaCom, a cable company, if you've heard of them. So I recruited for them for about a year, and then jumped to another company. Actually, it was insurance, and recruited for insurance for I think maybe about 2 years, and now I'm at Emerson. So yeah, so it's been kind of like a little bit of, a jumpy ride, but it's kind of all started in education and then kind of worked my way into HR from there. So
okay, that sounds amazing, specifically because you specialized and went into different industries. Started off from education, went into insurance, and now you're working for Emerson. Which leads me to my next question, which is you've stuck with it for a while, which means there's something that you like about it. What's something that's so rewarding on talent acquisition space that you're like, I really need to stay in this space?
yeah, specifically within talent acquisition, I really, really enjoy the excitement when you're giving somebody an offer. I love that. And I also just believe like we are at work half our day. Like we spend half of our like day working. Like the people you work with, you have to be around them all the time. So I feel like when I am able to put somebody in a job that they like, that they enjoy, um, they the company's goals resonate with them, they like their work family, they enjoy going every day, like that, I truly love that. And when I first started in talent acquisition, I was leaving the cable company, and I remember somebody I work with, they said to me, there's two kinds of people that work in HR. One, somebody who's in HR for power, and two, The other person is in it because they want to make everybody's work life better. And so from there, I've strived. I want to make people's work life better. Like I always want to make it an environment where people want to come to work. So if I can put you in a job, in a position that you love and you're happy with, then I've met my goal. And that's why I love it.
Oh, well, that's very selfless of you, specifically because I think I really like the fact that you mentioned kinds of people, the ones that want to be in power and the ones that want to give people the chance to be in a work environment which they love. So I'm glad and grateful for people like you who exist, who are bridging the gap between candidates finding jobs and companies that are looking to hire those purpose-driven candidates. My next question for you, Emerald, would be is you've been in the talent acquisition space for quite a while. What is something that jumps off to you right away when you're speaking with a candidate for the first time? What is something that you're like, oh my God, this candidate, I want to get to know them more?
Yeah. Um, I I'm a very personal person just in general. So when I speak with candidates, I talk to them. Well, I try to talk to them like I already know them. Um, I I think it makes it comfortable. I don't think interviews have to be this like scary thing where you're going into it and you're like pitting out and you're like nervous. You got the butterflies on the inside. Interviews they don't need to be that. So I try to make them as comfortable as possible because when a candidate is comfortable, they will tell you everything you need to know without you asking. So that's what I try to do. But I mean, each position has its goal for what we're looking for in a candidate. But I mean, as long as you go into the interview relaxed, and I mean, that's a hard question, really, to answer because um, I don't always want to look for the same person. Like we want diversity. We want, you know, we don't want to hire the same person over and over and over again. So I'm always looking for something new. Even within a position, like if they say they're looking for one thing, I will look for that thing, but I'm also going to look for something that the person can bring that can add to that. So, and I feel like when the candidate is comfortable, they let it all out and they so
No, I think that's
yeah.
very important. And I think sometimes you just need to create that safe space where candidates can just feel like they can share anything. And that's when you actually get to know a candidate at a deeper level. So I'm glad that's something that you use. I think my next question for you, Emily, would be is as a woman of color, you must focus on DEI a lot because personally you want women to be represented for the skills that they bring to the table as opposed to what they look like, what their color is, what gender they belong from. So I'm curious to know what are some of the DI initiatives that might be happening at Emerson, for example, where you attract more diverse talent, whether it's women, whether it's people from minorities? Can you share a little more about that?
Yeah, absolutely. I really enjoy Emerson's diversity initiative. The previous companies I've worked for, um, they weren't great at it, but Emerson at least has like a plan. So actually, I'll give you like a piece of something that we do. Well, first of all, we go to a lot of different um, events that are diversity targeted, but on top of that, which this piece is like super cool and I love this. So our recruiting software, so we use ORC. In it, whenever we have applicants in the system, and if we move them to a certain stage, it tells us if we are working from a diverse candidate slate.
Oh,
So let's say I have 5 candidates and 3 of them are diverse. If I move, like, without even knowing, because we don't know, we can only see their name. We don't know who we're working with or who we're picking from. So without seeing these 5 candidates, if I move 3 of them and at least 50%, so if at least 2 of those are diverse candidates and I move them in the system to like we're interviewing them, the system will tell me like you have a diverse candidate slate. And if the candidates I move in the system to interview, if 50% of them are not a diverse candidate slate, it'll tell me this is not a diverse
Wow.
candidate slate, which tells me, okay, then I need to keep looking for candidates. I need to keep working at this. So I think that that part is like really cool how we've pulled in technology into our diversity efforts. So
I love that. I think because sometimes subconsciously we're like, okay, yeah, we need to implement DEI, we need to do this, but that's just usually left to our subconscious. But when we're actually being told consciously and actively that, okay, these are the candidates that are diverse, these are the candidates that are being moved to the interview stage, you're mostly more actively involved in that process and you're more likely to make an effort to make it happen. So that's wonderful. And thank you so much for sharing that. Emerald, last question. Emerald, you've been in the talent acquisition space for a while. I know your company's always hiring. Are there any specific roles that you're hiring for? Because a lot of people have been laid off. So if there are any specific openings, I'd be more than happy for you to
yeah,
mention
you
them.
know what? Emerson is a huge company. We are global. So and I feel like there is space for everybody at Emerson. Like, no matter, we are like a technology, software, engineering company, but within those spaces, um, there are other opportunities. So, obviously, like, if you were in finance, you could find a job at Emerson in finance. If you were um, in like marketing, you could find a job in marketing. Um, HR, engineering, like technology, like if you were like a software, computer engineer, a graduate, like, and we offer at, at every level. So we always are hiring. We do like interns, co-ops, we do entry level, so like new grad hiring, senior level, mid level, whatever. Like we have a little bit of everything. So I would encourage everybody to check out our website. We are also, like I said, we're global, but specifically for the US, since that's where I'm at, we have offices all over. We do offer remote, like I work remote out of Iowa. so so yeah, we have an opportunity for everybody. So I would encourage everybody to check out our career site.
Okay. Emerald, other than that, our time is up. Thank you so much for coming on the show, for
Yeah.
sharing your experiences about how you pivoted from education recruitment all the way to a technology company. You are changing lives of so many people by putting them first, specifically because you really want to create that safe space where people can come in, share their story, and feel comfortable because they know that they're not going to be speaking to someone who's a recruiter, but a friend at the end of the day. Thank you
Yeah,
so
thank you
much.
for having me.